in the third millennium.
Narration. Also reading.
They were the police, jury, and executioner all in one.
So, cops? Judge Fett. But seriously, from the opening scroll to this shot, I did not realize how much Star Wars pandering this movie did. Rob Schneider must play this universe's Jar Jar Binks. The casting is starting to make more sense now. More Star Wars. Maybe it's not pandering. Maybe it's just taking. It's really too bad this wasn't more of a hit, because if it was, ignorant studio execs might have thought it was because of how great the chemistry is between Rob and Sylvester in Demolition Man, and then this. Then they could have done another movie together, and the trailer guy would have said, "This summer it's Stallone and Schneider." You can't put a price on precious moments like that. Sadly, it will never come to be. Eat your own stuff was how my college girlfriend used to get me off. I won't bore you by explaining what it means. I mean, have better things to do. That secret dies with me. No one will ever know what that meant. I mean, no one will know that it meant anything. Nothing. I guess in this universe, Jack in the Box won the franchise wars. The hell? This movie does later tell us that they moved the Statue of Liberty on purpose, but it never tells us why. Every time you see these futuristic cities with their flying cars, the movie never does a good job showing you how these contraptions know which lane they should be in or which direction they should be going. It's not the clusterfuck the Zam Chase in Attack of the Clones is, but saying something isn't as bad as anything in Attack of the Clones is not a compliment.
Take caution in this sector. There is a citizen riot in progress.
But we're going to let you land anyway, because we need a convoluted way for Rob Schneider to get falsely arrested so he can meet up with Judge Dredd later, who has also been falsely arrested, and they can learn from each other and form a solid team. Got it? Good. Between these three stoplights and triplicate, the odd sign placement, and the fire hydrant, I have no idea how anyone could ever interpret and execute this intersection legally.
This is a sim, rookie! You will stand down and wait for backup!
What kind of f***ing judge says this? Judges are smart, yes, but they are also the law. Get in there and up.
Help me in Heavenly Haven on the corner of Abbott and Costello!
On the corner of Abbott and Costello. Fearsome killer Uber Judge Dredd was just sitting here on his bike chilling, waiting for a call to come in that he could cherry pick, instead of hunting down the crime himself like a real cop. Costume design brought to you by Versace. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. Versace designed some of this
I am the law!
What Sylvester Stallone says on day one of his film sets somehow makes its way into the script. Also, even with the voice being amplified, how does he expect people 40 stories up firing weapons to hear him?
Nice shot, sir!
Was it? It's a pretty large door, and he shot a f***ing grenade at it. He really just had to get it in the general vicinity, right? This product placement seems totally fair. I've always thought of Judge Dredd as the Coors Light of 90s comic book movies. Every single one of these guys. Dredd! The judges all look the same. How did this garden variety hench person recognize Dredd? That judge's guts were made of ketchup and mustard.
Judge this! Lawgiver, man!
Terrible insults.
Double whammy.
This very awesome future gun has a setting called Double Whammy, which I have a few problems with. First, it sounds like a video game, not a bullet. Second, it takes 4 syllables to pronounce, and a voice-activated gun needs to be more efficient than that. Third, why would the future gun be voice-activated? This seems cool when you're watching a movie, but if he's in earshot of his targets, then he is constantly telegraphing his next move, and the gun even repeats his command back to him. And regardless, some situations call for silence. It would be best if the gun had a backup manual setting.
And code 3613. The first-degree murder. The street judge.
But how does he know James Remar shot the rookie? They were all opening fire when he entered the room.
Let me guess. Life.
I'm concerned enough that he bothered to say anything here, but to follow it with an obvious "I'm pulling a secret gun out to kill you" seems a little foolish. The body cleanup crew are all wearing body sweatsuits with their hoodies up. The Wiggles don't look this stupid when they do their job. Honestly, the spandex isn't so bad from this angle.
How do you plead?
Comic relief? Let's build our buildings to look like giant birds. Brilliant.
The only solution is a tougher criminal code.
Procknow's pulpit. These chairs look uncomfortable as like, I'd rather stand, thank you.
Chief Justice, the city is in chaos. For social order, we need tighter reins.
I think the political board meetings are just one of the many reasons this film doesn't work. One of many, but an important one. Later we'll get the film Dredd, where it's just about Dredd being Dredd, and we don't have any council meetings and because no one needs that.
And I say we expand execution to include lesser crimes.
I wonder if this is a good guy or a bad guy. I don't know if Stallone refused to not show his face for part of the movie, or if the creepy blue contacts were so germane to the clone plot the helmet had to come off, but god damn it. Leaving on the helmet is the one thing in the comic that anyone holds dear. It's a very significant character trait. Judge Dredd only removed his helmet in the comic once, and even then his face got covered by a censor bar. It's not like we don't know it's Stallone. No one else has that voice. Everyone in this movie is above this movie. Stallone, Asante, Boncito, Lane, even f***ing Rob Schneider is above this movie. And he made Animal.
You're going to spend 2 days a week at the academy.
I'd be honored, sir. Unarmed combat or marksmanship?
Ethics.
But why would they want Dredd to teach ethics? Wouldn't they have teachers more qualified at that? In the same way Dredd would be more qualified to teach unarmed combat and marksmanship? Leaf blower guns.
The innocent exist only until they inevitably become perpetrators.
They should put this word for word on the Twitter terms of service.
Guilt and innocence is a matter of timing.
What the does this mean? The shifting morality of culture will take something evil and decide that it was actually good? Like Batman v Superman? Somehow an advanced future prison with laser bars and autoguns fails to x-ray a package someone sent to this highly dangerous prisoner. Like, why does this guy even get the privilege of packages? He seems Hannibal Lecter-ish. Why is he allowed to receive and handle metal boxes? And hey! Even Hannibal Lecter was given behind a bulletproof glass wall. This movie is the future, and they take down the prison wall entirely to deliver a present? I'm giving this 350 sins! And if you question my judgment, I will send you to solitary.
Activate alarm!
Voice not recognized.
Rico did shoot the warden in the throat, but he's still taking a small chance the alarms could be activated. Why wouldn't he just kill the warden?
Kevlar 9 helmet and body armor. Yours when you graduate.
I thought he was teaching ethics. This looks more like marksmanship, which he was told he wasn't teaching.
Malfunction.
Yours if you can never get it to work.
Did Judge Dredd just make a joke? Because nothing before or after this gives the impression that he ever makes jokes.
This is what it means to be a judge. This is the commitment I expect. Class dismissed.
I think one could argue that Stallone is giving a perfectly fine performance here. I'm not sure he's giving the performance that belongs in this movie. Judge Dredd wants to find its inner Verhoeven and be dark satire at times, and then it switches back to Rob Schneider being Rob Schneider, and it runs into buddy cop territory. Then you have Stallone thinking he's in a heartfelt drama/violent action film of some sort, which is weird because in interviews he said he thought they were making a comedy action film. No one was on the same page here, and it shows. But it sure is a fascinating thing to watch.
You made it sound like our lives are practically over.
Aren't they, though?
I want to know what happened.
I judged him.
You really gotta be careful when you use the word judge in this universe. Imagine getting in an argument on a street corner with your boyfriend or girlfriend and asking, "Are you judging me?" And then a judge nearby hears the conversation and you get arrested for impersonating a judge and are put to death. I think the real moral of the story is don't have your arguments out in public. No one wants to hear that shit. So he shot the warden and killed guards at the prison. Now he's in morgue shipment in a body bag? Did he infiltrate the morgue shipment from the prison? Did the prison not notify anyone of this escape? What is the why? Yeah, this is Super Mario Brothers.
We're closed for the night.
Then why was your door open and your outside neon still on?
That's programmed to only recognize a judge's hand. You touch that, it'll take your arm off.
Does each gun have different punishments for non-judges? Because the one the guy picked up at the beginning of the movie simply electrocuted him. He opens the head of the non-functioning 50-year-old soldier bot and crosses the first two wires he sees, and voila! It works! This former judge-prisoner guy is the best electrician in the world.
No!
Zooming in on this Dredd name badge is 100% a tip-off that this isn't actually Dredd. And sure, maybe the movie isn't really trying to hide it, but it could have been fun if the audience had a genuine doubt for even a few minutes. This pillow, or oversized handbag, or skirt, whatever it is, it. While it's fun that Dredd explodes this guy's car for his 4th parking violation, and while we did see a woman get out of the passenger seat, Dredd has no idea if there were any other people or kids or dogs or life forms in that car. This is reckless wreckage reeking of feckless peckage seeking checkless heckage.
Judge Joseph Dredd.
This movie went 25 years into the future and stole the Dark Troopers from the Mandalorian. The boss man goes into the cell and the door shuts behind him. And if Dredd really were a cop-killing murderer, there is little anyone could do right now to stop him from murdering the boss man.
The video is inadmissible.
Yes!
Premature celebration.
Very well. I'm therefore forced to move to technical information of a critical nature.
Which is that Dredd's DNA is all over the f***ing gun and proves he's the only one who could fire it. This is what you lead off with, lady, not some fuzzy video footage with a guy wearing a helmet. As Judge Dredd goes down because some bullets from a murder, I guess, had his DNA on them, I suppose. I can't help wondering how f***ing stupid this goddamn movie is, and how it spends so much time with board meetings and court proceedings and kicks so very little actual ass, and I already added 350 sins in anger earlier, but I'm adding another 2,000 here in super anger. This movie sucks all the balls.
Correct. Both of them homicidal.
How do you know they are twins or brothers but not know that the evil one has recently escaped prison, thereby allowing you to draw the conclusion that not everything is as it seems?
Your retirement grants you the power to save Dredd's life.
As usual, this is all about a political power grab. So after you're done being a justice or a chief justice, you get sent out into a harrowing dust storm hellscape to survive as long as you can until you die? That's a hell of a pension plan. I'm not sure it even contains any good things. It's like, thanks for your years of service. Would you like to die now or in 4 hours? Why are we punishing this guy? How many good guy cop ends up in prison movies has Stallone made? This one, Demolition Man, Tango and Cash, Escape Plan. Again, why are they punishing Judge Fargo after he retires? Why not have cake and sing songs and send him to a paradise for a week? Why sentence him to almost certain death just for being done doing his job? Breaking and entering into a locker, which, to be fair, in this universe is probably at least 25 years in prison. Also, why haven't they cleared out Dredd's locker? Once they suspected him of homicide, this would have been immediately searched, no?
Let me tell you what Dredd worships. He worships the law. He'd have blown you away the minute he found out how much you're pissing on it.
Which brings up this question. Why didn't Judge Griffin sentence Dredd to death instead of giving him life? I'm sure he thinks there's no way Dredd will break out and catch him, but why take the chance? Griffin didn't have to honor Fargo's request of leniency on Dredd, so why did he? Ship looks like a frog.
Dredd?
Nope. Stallone has a nice jawline, but give me a break. Considering how unforgiving and demanding the judges are of sentencing people, you'd think they would take a second to learn how to frisk a prisoner properly. Holy it's a Family from the Wrong Turn franchise. Guns fire in an airplane and accidentally take out the pilot cliche. Dredd and Fergie survived this. No one will be seated during the scene in the framed cop sci-fi futuristic action film where the heroes are kidnapped and face torture by a gang of white men with questionable intelligence. And you will never convince me this wasn't inspired by Pulp Fiction's Gimp sequence.
The legendary Angel family, cursed as pirates.
Exposition via, well, he's just spewing exposition, really. It's not disguised as anything.
You're making a big mistake.
He is, and you could have told him exactly why before he started his praising and amens, but instead you waited until they had him cut down before letting Fergie in on the whole cannibal thing with the Angel family. Well, even though they were following evil orders, now Dredd has actually killed good guys, the crime he was wrongly accused of earlier. It's Obi-Wan Cito! He's turned into a hardy and crusty dust vigilante in his... Chicks. No, it's 24 hours here in the wasteland? How did he even know where Dredd was?
Together again.
Together again, sir.
Together again. Gee, it's good to be together again. I just can't imagine that we've ever been gone. It's not starting over, it's just going on.
Somebody must have used a CGI terminal and a scan quad to make this.
Holy a CGI terminal and a scan quad? Who could possibly have the resources for both of those pieces of totally real equipment? So they sent in about 4 or 5 Dredd troopers, and Sly took them all out after they shot up the cyborg cannibal. But these guys are just gonna chill here and let the Chief Justice slowly die by firelight? As though the dead team of soldiers will never be missed? Like, are they not gonna send more teams out here to find the ones that they lost contact with a little while back? This screams saving money on location at the expense of common sense. Gotta love when the only reaction shots you can cut to are blurry as hell.
Rickles killed me and destroyed you. Find him, just...
Everything is happening very quickly right now. He stares at a statue of Lady Justice while holding a high-powered shotgun while lightning strikes outside. Subtle, this movie is not.
All this is useless if you can't get into Central Janus files, because the council has them locked.
That is, I'm pretty sure, brand new information. But even if it's not, the movie has thrown so much talking at me that I can be forgiven for getting confused.
You'll have your new order.
Awesome! I hope it comes on a Blue Monday. They are responding to a call, but all these judges drove the wrong way on a one-way street and are parking in a tow-away zone.
Now apologize. I think I deserve that.
I've never apologized.
Really? Then what the is this?
Sir, I'm sorry about this.
Why is the fire coming from where they entered now? Every time before, it was coming from the back of the tunnel.
Magruder, Evelyn.
Magruder! They somehow snuck into the judge's locker room? This future society convicted Dredd via surveillance footage, but other than that one plot beat, appears to see zero value in general security camera systems.
Why are you taking off his clothes? We don't have time for this.
The Fergie Master would be the Sin Man at CinemaSins.
Given the current state of genetic engineering, an adult subject could be incubated in approximately 8 hours.
8 hours to make an adult Super Cop clone? I can't even download a torrent in 8... Hey, what's a torrent? I don't know. You know. What? Who? Why? Anyway, we still need a real sin here. Oh, I know. 8 hours to make an adult Super Cop clone? I could barely make a decent pot roast in 8 hours.
Dredd.
Rob Schneider's idiot character keeps calling Dredd Dredd in public. Rico runs away from his brother like a biatch. A piece of machinery or equipment like a car or a computer isn't working despite many attempts, till the protagonist finally gives up and either slams their head on the thing or punches it in anger or kicks it, but then it finally, despite all logic, suddenly leaps a life cliche. Followed by a vehicle or ship is falling and needs to restart, but only restarts at the very last second before the craft crashes cliche. Cliche gods are very angry at this movie, but they need to get their ass is in line behind me.
Dredd, you may want to wash this seat after we get off the bike.
Comedy! They're shooting bullets, so what keeps exploding? Why would any city put a billboard in the path of potential traffic and where someone could easily get killed? Mega nuts would get mega sued frequently.
Dredd, that's twice you owe me.
Diane Lane is not owed any favors by me in this scene.
Speaking of life, send in the clones.
I feel like there's at least a 17% chance the entire script was written around this one line of dialogue.
You betray the law!
God damn, this movie is stupid. The robot starts helping the good guys because Fergie Schneider is up there rewiring it, and this is the most easily rewirable robot ever made, isn't it? The two women fight each other so as to keep things gender equitable or some such. I feel bad for fans of the Dredd comics. This finale, indeed the whole film, could easily have been a Demolition Man sequel. I can't fathom how this pays any honest homage to its roots. I bet there was a shot in there that explained why the whole building is exploding right now, but I sure as missed it. This movie is like being given the finger, and you acknowledge that you've been flipped off with an eye-rolling head nod. But then the flipper offer decides that's not enough, and he rides a skateboard closer to you and starts insulting you with words like Byzantine and Protozoan, and he throws a sprig of rosemary at you, and ultimately you go to bed more confused than you are offended, but you still wasted a lot of your own time here. Considering all the chaos we've seen recently, and all the judges being executed, based on that casual traffic below, it sure does seem like no one is letting rioting and murder interfere with their evening plans. Oh, Jesus, false ending Christ.
We'd like you to consider the first position of Chief Justice.
What? I get that they all saw some video that proves Dredd is innocent, but they also all firmly believed he was guilty just a day ago. I'm guessing some more red tape would need to be cut through before this assignment could become an actuality. Maybe pausing for a second and considering their surroundings would be a positive for whatever the this society is. Judge Dredd is not Batman. We wouldn't dare play the music, but The Cure wrote a song for this movie? What the Robert Smith?
Well, it's gonna be a scorcher.
You ought to know, Reggie. If you come up against me, you're gonna lose.
Wrote to him when he petitioned for men. It said...
I remember what it said. Bear Island knows no king but the king of the north, whose name is Stark.
But there's just one thing I want to know. How's that damn 3 seashell thing work?
What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday! By the way, I'll be observing you in court this afternoon. I've been hearing some good things about you.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Do you feel in charge? Have you been crying?
There's no crying! There's no crying in baseball!
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Who can say no to Arena?
Rico. Joseph.
Does that with everybody. Calls me Joseph.
Hey, you know something? You're a real pain in the neck.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied.